Hey guys, welcome to DreamCoin, where we show how to invest for a better tomorrow. My name's Tyler, and today we're going to be going over the BeyondSpring Pharmaceuticals company, what they do, why they ran so much today, and where I see them going into the future. As we look at their pipeline and their website, we can see that they primarily deal in treatments that involve cancers. And the way they're going about trying to treat cancer would be an alternative to chemotherapy, which is predominantly known to have a lot of side effects. And as we've looked at past data that they've come out with treatments, it's been shown that they are potentially being able to mitigate those side effects that come with chemotherapy, which provides for a better outlook for people that are looking to get treated for their cancer. Their main treatment that they're looking to develop is called plinabulin, and a lot of the news that came out today revolves around this. But just to dive into what it does, it basically kind of sets a target on different types of cancer cells and allows for not only the destruction of those through that targeting process, but also allows for T cells and increased antigens in the body to help with allowing for a lot more anti-cancer effects that would generally come about with a weakened immune system for people that are afflicted by different types of cancer. One of the main issues with cancer outside of physically just having cancer cells is that obviously you have a higher risk of infection for other things, and it's just generally harder to recover from a lot of different stuff that you would have if you were otherwise healthy. Allowing for a better regeneration in your body for your immune system would obviously prove a beneficial aspect for people that are dealing with those kind of things. The primary use case for these treatments is something called protein degradation. A disease causing protein in the body, particularly in cancer, would be known as oncogenic in basis. And what this would mean is that particularly with tumor cells, oncogenic proteins usually go for the mutation process and give elevated levels of putting more of these cells into the body through the protein being present in the cells. This basically kind of accelerates that process of cancer and helps the process of building up more cancer cells in the body, which obviously is destructive in nature. The way they're going about treating this whole process is something that they're simplifying down to what they call a molecular glue, where they bind an enzyme to the target proteins, which would basically signal to the body that, hey, this protein needs to be destroyed so that further damage isn't done to the body. Through their technology with this stuff, they've had the potential to significantly reduce the amount of oncogene protein in the cells, and this would be one of the first of its kind in a therapeutic approach that would be able to deal with this in the body directly. Their stock went crazy today, where they almost went up 300% to a record high from where they were trading as low as around the $8 area. And then as the day went on, they also got a price target from HC Wainwright of over $100 for the stock. The reason why this went so crazy is that they kind of just used their plinabulin treatment and compared it to chemotherapy as different treatment options for patients with non-small cell lung cancer. And when compared to chemotherapy alone, their treatment had an increase in overall survival at 2 and 3 years in their study. And one of the major side effects of chemotherapy that would increase a patient's risk of infection was significantly reduced through their studies. Now, obviously, this could be possibly huge long-term if this could become an alternative to chemotherapy and a front runner in the field of cancer therapy, which makes it more reasonable that HC Wainwright would give a price target of $100. But even at $100, that would put them under a $5 billion market cap, which I think is very low for a company that could possibly have an entirely new treatment for cancer patients, especially if they can expand it to more different types of cancer cells outside of lung cancer as they did in their study. Furthermore, they're now looking to ask both the US and China for approval of their treatment, which would make more validation for their treatment in the long run for people being able to get wider access of this treatment and not just get it in special cases that they otherwise would need it for. This is their chart going through the trading day today. We could see further increases in their price over the long term from where they currently are, and they seem to have a stable support depending on what levels you're looking at. At their low end before they ran, I've got a support of about 1020 right now sitting, and so that would be the very bottom range they go. But with this new news. I don't see them hitting that low at the current time. If we look at the VWAP, we're sitting roughly around 26.30 that I have listed here as a softer support if they do pull back going into pre-market and regular trading tomorrow. And then they've got a lower support below that around 23.70 that I'm looking for. Their main resistance right now that I'm seeing is going to be about $30. So if they can break that $30 area, this could be a nice bullish run for the end of the week on this stock. And we could see more momentum coming in as more people have interest in this stock. At the current price that it was trading in after hours of about 28.30 when everything closed up for the entire day, they only have a market cap of about $1 billion. H.C. Wainwright's price target of $100 would only have them about $3.9 billion. And I think they have a bit higher of an upside due to the fact that if this were to get FDA approved after they submit this to the US, and then obviously also get approval in China as well, this could be huge for people seeking more types of cancer treatments and don't necessarily want the side effects of chemo or can't go through with chemo just because their body wouldn't be able to handle it. This would be a more primary option for a lot of people with cancer treatments, and if they can expand this to other types of cancer, this would obviously be huge as well. If we were to estimate that they could be at a $5 to $6 billion market cap, I think they could easily hit about $150 per share, which would put them about $5.8 billion in market cap. Now, obviously, this would take some time and have some different things going into effect with the company, but the company has given out some decent data on their treatments. They have a fairly deep pipeline of things they're trying to test for cancer treatments, and them being a possible front runner with this type of treatment for cancer, which could coincide with other treatments as well to ultimately improve the survival rates of people that are afflicted with these different types of things. I think $150 would be very reasonable for them in the long-term future. And if we look at analyst price targets like H.C. Wainwright, those are usually only on a 12-month window. So that's an analyst thinking they could be at $100 within a year, and saying that they could hit $150 within the next 2 years, I don't think is unreasonable in the slightest. Obviously, short term, we're going to be seeing a possible channel between this $23 and $30 area. But if they can break through this $30 area, I do see this being a possible support for them. And then the next major resistance I would be seeing after that would be roughly $35 to $38. And so if you see a run up to where they possibly start retesting 30, this could be a nice momentum play for you short term if you're looking to day trade this or do a shorter swing on the stock as well. This company looks great for the long term, and I think a lot of people can make some decent money both trading it short term and long term. Whatever your preference for trading or investing or whatever you're trying to do with this, I think you're in a good spot if you want to get into this. Obviously, long term, I don't see this being too much of a downside from here. If you want to start a small position and then just kind of ride it down if it does pull back, but obviously just watch the volatility, see what volume comes in, because they did trade significantly higher volume than they've had in the past few months. And so we could be seeing an interesting case for the stock, both for an upside and downside in the short term in general. I hope that kind of sums up why I think this could be a good opportunity for you in both the short and long term. And I'll be looking to do more pharma stocks in the near future, as we've already gone over a ton on the channel. Other than that, that's going to do it for me in this video today, guys. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.